Back with another College Football 25 tutorial. It's been a while since I dropped any tutorial, whether it was for College Football 25 or Madden 25. But this one specifically is about how to identify read keys and what they mean. So real quick, before I break down all these read keys, if you're here for the first time or if you're returning and you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with all content pertaining to College Football 25, whether it be tutorials, dynasty rebuilds, updates, leaks for College Football 26, etc. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Out the gate, we want to start with the light blue M, which stands for Mike Linebacker. And basically, in essence, what you're going to do is when you see that Mike Linebacker, that's the computer telling you that that's the Mike Linebacker. But that doesn't mean that you have to ID him as the Mike Linebacker. If you want to ID the opposite linebacker to him, you can ID him. And basically what will happen when you ID that linebacker, you're telling your O-line or your running back or whoever you want to account for that defender to account for that defender and block that defender. Say I don't want to ID him as the Mike Linebacker. Say I want to ID him. So when you look at your protection now, your running back is going to account for him. But say you don't want to account for him as the Mike Linebacker. Say you want to account for him. Well, now when you look at your protection, your running back is going to account for him. And if that is the case and your running back would have to run across the quarterback's face in order to do so, if he wasn't on a route, what you would want to do is move your running back to that side so that he's in better position to pick up that block. Next, you'll notice the flame over the two defenders to the left-hand side. So basically what that flame means is that those two defenders might be blitzing or they might be coming off the edge wherever they may be at on the field. And if they are, then you don't have anybody there to account for them. So say, for instance, I move this tight end to this side. And you see the flame is still there. But if I block the tight end, the flame on the defensive end goes away. So we now have him accounted for. Now, the cornerback, the slot corner, we don't have anybody accounted for. So if I wanted to account for him, I couldn't, because I don't have anybody over on that side that I could block to account for him. But if you did have a play set up that was designed where you could account for him, you could have somebody block him, you could. Next, we have the R that is in that orange triangle. You could call it orange, you could call it red, whatever you want to call it. But that R stands for the read defender. So majority of the time, you're going to see that read key defender on the defensive line. And the only time that read key is going to pop up is if you're doing a RPO or a read option play. So right now we're in an RPO and you can see that read key is on that safety. So basically what will happen is we're going to pay attention to that safety. If we hike the ball and that safety stays put where he's at, then we're going to want to hand this off to the running back. But if that safety comes up, then we're going to go ahead and pass it to either X or RB on the receiving routes. So let's try it out and see. So the safety stays there, so we handed it off. Let's see if we can get another one and the safety comes up. Let's see if he comes up on this one. No, he doesn't. He still stays out there. But you get the gist of how this works. If the safety decides he wants to come up, then you pass it. If he doesn't and he stays put, go ahead and hand it off. So he stays put. Again, we hand it off. Boom. I'm not going to do it too many more times. But again, you get the idea. If he comes up, okay, so he's in a box now. So there's a chance that he might actually rush this time. If he rushes, we're going to pass. So let's see. He rushed. Boom. So then you pass it. So now you get the full idea of what happens. The read key is you're simply reading the defender. Whatever the defender decides he wants to do, you do the opposite of. If the defender decides he wants to rush, you pass it. If the defender decides he wants to stay pat, you hand it off. So now you're going to have a P. I already went over the read key option, which is the R in the orange triangle. Now you have the P, which is in the blue triangle. And what that is say, for instance, we utilize the read key and we keep it with the quarterback. Say we keep it with the quarterback. We don't pass it to the running back. We don't pass it to the first running back, that is. and we go to the outside, we roll to the outside. Well, then that P defender is going to read whether or not you're going to keep it or if you're going to pitch it to the running back. So then essentially what you're going to have to do for that defender as well is read what he does. So if he drifts towards the running back, you're going to keep it with the quarterback. But if he drifts towards the quarterback, then you're going to pitch it to the running back using left bumper or L1 on PlayStation. So real quick, I forgot to mention, in order to keep it in a triple option with the quarterback, you want to hold A. If you're going to hand it off to that first running back, you just tap A and he hands it off to that first running back. But if you want to keep it, you have to hold A. And in order to pitch, that's when you then press left bumper or L1 on PlayStation. Next, you'll notice you have the C defender, or the defender with the C and a blue triangle over his head. That's the check defender. Depending on what this defender does with a running back in the backfield that's on a check and release is going to determine what that running back decides to do. So if that defender decides he wants to crash down, well, then that running back is going to stay and then he's going to block. But if that defender stays where he's at, then the running back is actually going to go out on his route. And it works the same with tight ends as well. So we're going to run this play to see what happens. If this safety decides he wants to come out on a blitz, then the running back's going to stay there and he's going to pick him up. But if that safety doesn't and he stays out there in coverage, well, then that running back is going to go out in the flat on his route. So let's take a look. So as you see, he stayed out there in coverage, so the running back went on his route. So now we have a new check defender, which is the slot corner. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he comes on a blitz or if he stays where he's at. Okay, so he stays where he's at, running back goes out on his route. I'm trying to see if I can get one where they actually blitz. Okay, so there it is. Now you notice that C defender, he came on a blitz and the running back stood back there waiting to pick up a block. Now he didn't pick up a block, but you get the gist of the whole concept of the check and release defender and what the running back is designed to do. If he comes in on a blitz, the running back's going to stay there to try to pick up protection. If he stays out there in coverage, well, then the running back is going to go out in the flat. So again, you saw he stayed in coverage. Running back immediately went on his route. And that's how the check defender works. So next you'll notice you have a red C, or a C in a red triangle, and a F in a red triangle on defense. So basically what these stand for is the red C is the cutback defender, where if there's a running play or a player decides to cut back and go to the opposite side of the field, that player is designed to stay in position where he's at to be able to prevent the cutback player from actually being able to cut back and getting a chunk play. The force defender is designed to contain the outside so the running back can't hit the outside and get a chunk play. So his duty is to, whenever the running back is running in that direction, his duty is to cut him off from running outside and force him to run back inside. So essentially these two work hand in hand together. You'll have a cutback defender on the opposite side and a force defender on that side, on that main side. So that force defender is forcing the running back to either cut back inside or cut back to the opposite side, where the cutback defender will cut the running back off. The blue dots that appear above the defenders' heads. Normally, when these dots appear, that means the player is either rushing or in position to rush. They may be rushing, they may not be rushing. But these dots indicate pass rush moves. So if they do rush and they utilize a pass rush move, that's how many you have for that player that you can get off. So say we hike the ball right now and I use a pass rush move. You'll see one of them disappear. He'll get 3 moves left. And then eventually when you use up all those moves, it takes a minute before they replenish, but eventually you gain them back. But some defenders have fewer than others. Some have a lot. As you can see, this guy, he has 4. You got others that got 3. You might have a DB that has 1. If you rush and you use one of those, you'll have 3 left. If you keep doing it, so on and so forth, they'll all disappear until they replenish back periodically throughout the game. So again, if you made it this far and you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so. click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more College Football 25 tutorials, as well as other content as well. So again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time, peace.